Inspector Barron, would you please state and spell your name for the record?
David Barron, D-A-V-I-D, Barron, B-A-R-O-N.
What's your title now?
Aviation Safety Inspector, Airworthiness, Avionics.
Do you have an A&P certificate?
No, I do not.
So you personally are not authorized by the FAA to conduct a 100-hour inspection by yourself?
That is correct, sir.
How about for aircraft AD compliance? Were you ever authorized by the FAA or properly licensed to comply with an airframe airworthiness directive for an aircraft? Were you ever given an inspection authorization by the Federal Aviation Administration?
No.
What qualifications renders you an expert in the area of airworthiness?
Worked with some fine mechanics, both AMPIAs. Worked with some fine mechanics.
Okay, let me go one at a time.
Okay.
You worked with some fine mechanics in the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me you're an expert by association because you worked with them?
I have learned quite a bit. They were good teachers.
Were you told prior to your deposition today by Mr. Kelly or anybody else that you were required to bring with you all the documents that I've been requesting this morning?
I know that there was a request to bring these documents. I believe that I may have thought that those were not necessary for whatever reason. I believe that I may have thought that those were not necessary for whatever reason.
Isn't the purpose of this Deposition Exhibit 31, the 8900.1 Order, Chapter 7, Conduct Violation Investigation, isn't that controlling on your conducting of the investigation of airtrack?
As part of being a safety inspector, that is one aspect of our job is that. What I'm saying is I did not have that in my possession when I was doing the inspection of airtrack.
Did you reference it? Did you look at it? Did you pull it up on the computer or look at a handbook and read it?
No, I did not.
Why?
I don't know.
Take a look at the highlighted portion there and read it for me.
Down here,
Yeah.
Inspectors can only require compliance with the minimum rule precisely as it is written.
Inspectors can only require compliance with the minimum rule precisely as it is written. Did you apply that standard to airtrack during your investigation?
I would have to say a sense of not being, with just now reading that statement, if that's the current document, I did not read that prior to this investigation. I did not read that prior to this investigation.
And will you be rendering an opinion with regard to that issue at the hearing?
I mean, I do know that the turbojet aircraft have to have a 36-month weight and balance program that's approved, so.
You know that the weight and balance of each aircraft is required to be kept on board the aircraft in the airplane flight manual, right?
Yes, I do know that.
So the one particular aircraft that you referenced that didn't have the weight and balance information available, did you check that specific airplane flight manual for the information?
I did not. I did not.
What is it?
This is a Airworthiness Directive 740809 that pertains to aircraft to prevent fires that could possibly start in the lav, basically using paper or linen waste receptacles.
So did you ever go into the lavatory of the West Wind aircraft?
I did not.
Do you know if the lavatory of the West Wind aircraft is equipped with a paper or linen waste receptacle?
I do not know that.
And that specifically refers to an inspection of the waste receptacle, correct?
Yes.
So if Airworthiness Directive 740809 is not applicable to the West Wind aircraft, Air Trek was not required to keep a record of that non-applicability, correct?
From what I'm seeing here, that may be true. From what I'm seeing here, that may be true.
During your investigation at Air Trek, did you determine that any of the aircraft did not have a current 100-hour inspection?
I can only speak to this one aircraft, 658 Alpha Tango. According to the records that I reviewed, these 4 documents, Exhibit A21, shows the latest date on here was March 4th of 2008. And during this inspection, we were there the week of May 5th, 2008, so roughly 2 months later. We did not show any other documentation that the 100-hour inspection has been completed. And according to discussions with Mr. Waincar, he told both Inspector Bates and I that these aircraft fly quite a bit. So in 2 months' time, one would expect 100 hours to be flown on the aircraft.
Did you look inside the aircraft, November 658 Alpha Tango, during your investigation to determine the current total time on the airframe?
No.
What was the total time on the aircraft during your inspection on May 5th through 9th, 2008?
I do not know.
Okay. What evidence would you need to determine that the aircraft had overflown its 100-hour inspection during your May investigation?
Based on his statement that the aircraft fly quite a bit, he told us that the aircraft flies quite a bit. Based on his statement that the aircraft fly quite a bit.
Is that your opinion that Air Trek operated November 658 Alpha Tango on numerous flights when it did not comply with the required 100-hour inspection?
Yes.
What is the basis for that opinion?
Again, based on what Mr. Wayne Carr said, that for the amount of flying that the aircraft did, it's been 2 months since the last 100-hour inspection. Based my decision on that. Based my decision on that.
Other than the 4 airworthiness directives referenced in the emergency order of revocation, did you find any other airworthiness directives that had not been complied with?
I have not, sir.
Do you know that Section 4 of the MTR is where the airworthiness directive compliance would appear in the MTR at Air Trek?
That I did not know.
Did you ask?
No.
Listen to my question carefully because
Okay.
it's very specific.
Okay.
With regard to the 4 airworthiness directives that are listed in the complaint or emergency order of revocation, Section 5, did you sit down with Mr. Wayne Carr and say specifically, show me how each of these 4 airworthiness directives have been complied with and show me the documentation?
Okay, I did not. Okay, I did not.
Do you know if Inspector Bates did?
That I do not know, sir.